Hi, everybody. Thank you for going ahead and attending. Today, we are talking about NoMo, which is a personal emergency response system that you can actually offer to your clients to be a solution to your clients' kids or the caregivers that they have when your client needs a little bit more help. And their loved ones are worried about them being by themselves. So today we have David Bear and Macy, and I'm going to butcher your last name, so you got to pronounce it for me.
Muchacharo.
Muchacharo. Okay, there we go. So they are from NoMo. As many of you know, the Medicare Advantage plans, a lot of them have started taking various benefits off of their plans. One of them are the personal emergency response systems. And if you don't know what a personal emergency response system is, think help, I've fallen and I can't get up. They're the bracelets or the necklaces that almost everybody and their brother hates because it reminds them of old and dead people that, it's the emergency button. So those are primarily what people think of with a purse system. So this particular one, many of you know Cindy on my team. She is a caregiver for her parents. And when this rolled out, she's like, "Oh my God, this is like the coolest thing since sliced bread. I am so excited about it. Cannot wait for us to take a look at it and see if it helps us." And it was a resounding yes, this is awesome. So, as most of you know, with any of the products and things that I bring out to you guys that are following my social media or a part of my downline or whatever. I vet and I'm very, very careful with the vendors that we use, that they all practice the same integrity and ethics and customer service that I project as well as instill in all of you. So that is why I brought them on board is for you guys to hear what the opportunities are. And this is actually something that you can present to your client. I would recommend that you do it as a follow-up appointment, not actually in the appointment that you're actually taking an application. But this does allow you to also make a little bit of a commission on it as well. So it is another income stream that is possible for you in addition to all the other things that you've got in your bag of tricks to ultimately assist that beneficiary. So with that, I am going to turn this over to David and to Macy. If you guys have questions, feel free to throw them in the Q&A or in the chat and we will answer those a little bit further into the presentation. So the floor is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Amanda. Um, Good afternoon, everyone. I'm David Bear, and I'm with NoMo SmartCare, and my colleague Macy Muchacharo is with me as well. We're going to tell you a little bit today about NoMo, and want to first of all thank Amanda and her team so very much for allowing us the opportunity to talk with you today and allowing the opportunity for us to show you a little bit about NoMo and how we think NoMo really can help aging adults have just a better quality of life and have the ability to stay in their home longer and make the family have a lot more peace of mind when mom or dad or mom and dad are alone and you might be 10 miles away or 1,000 miles away and still feel connected to them. So we're going to go through a few different slides today. I do have a couple of videos we're going to show. We were testing the audio. I'm hopeful the audio works. If it doesn't, we'll pivot. But NoMo, which you're going to see, is really your virtual proactive caregiver. And so what NoMo allows you to do is answer the simple question of, how is mom doing or how is dad doing without cameras, without invasiveness, and without having to call mom or dad, a dozen times every day to check if they woke up and had lunch and had breakfast and etc. So we're going to give this first video a shot. And Amanda or Macy, let me know if you have any hard time with the audio.
Providing care is easier with NoMo SmartCare. NoMo detects activities within your loved one's home, so you know they're up and active. You choose which activities NoMo provides insights about. NoMo senses when doors or drawers are used, identifies trends in movement, can record vitals like blood pressure and temperature, and even sends alerts when routines have changed. NoMo is always adding new features to make caregiving easier. The NoMo Essential Care Kit comes with a variety of sensors that are installed around your loved one's house to provide information you care about throughout the day through the NoMo app. Discover all the ways NoMo provides peace of mind for you and your loved ones at nomosmartcare.com.
All right. So glad that worked and glad I was able to give you just a short little video intro about what NoMo is. And now I'm going to talk you through just a little bit of the hardware and the software, and then I'm going to explain to you some different use cases, because what we found is by explaining how, we and our customers currently use NoMo, it really gives people the best sense of it. So NoMo is made up of a few different pieces of hardware. As you see in the top right corner of your screen, the NoMo Hub. So the NoMo Hub sits in the main room of the home. It is the brains of the operation. All of the computing is done right there in that device. So unlike Siri and unlike Alexa, we don't stream your information to the cloud to do the computing and processing. We actually do that right there in your home. NoMo was built on privacy and security first, which is why we don't stream data to the cloud. It's also why we don't use any cameras, and we don't have any active listening and transporting of audio and learning those sorts of algorithms off of the way you're speaking in your home when you don't think anybody's listening. So privacy is the number one concern that NoMo is built on. Additionally, the hub allows for two-way communication. And so what that means is that at any point in time, you can push a button in your app, any of the Care Circle, and I'll explain that in a little bit, can push a button in their app and they can instantly be connected to hands-free communication with mom or dad in the home. And, don't have to push any buttons. You don't have to worry about phones being charged or off the hook. My mom was 86 and had Alzheimer's, and most of the time her phone was left off the hook. And so it was often a problem for us to reach out to her and have her put that back on the hook. And with NoMo, we didn't have to drive over or call a neighbor. We just could push a button. Okay, so next to the hub, in the bottom left-hand corner, the two square devices that say NoMo satellites. The NoMo satellites detect movement and are placed in places where there's traffic. So think about a hallway, think about a bathroom, think about a bedroom, anywhere you want to track when people are moving throughout that space. And when you put a few of those satellites throughout different parts of the home and we identify which part they are, that allows NoMo to begin to understand and recognize what we call normal motion. These are the patterns of movement that happen throughout the house every day. So for example, every morning at 10 a.m. or thereabouts, dad wakes up out of bed, walks through the bedroom, into the bathroom, uses the bathroom, then walks into the kitchen, pours his cup of coffee, and reads the newspaper. So if you have those satellites in those few different locations, every morning NoMo is going to recognize that movement pattern. And over the course of 3 or 4 weeks, NoMo will begin to build an AI model of what's normal, what's typical in dad's day. And in that example, it will recognize sort of the normal wake-up time and kind of those normal behaviors in the morning. And once that learning is complete, NoMo gets really powerful, and NoMo then begins to identify when things don't happen. And I'll get into more of that in just a little bit. In addition, the satellites act as a nightlight. So when it detects movement, that little LED in the center will light up. That helps with trips or falls or bumping into things, especially, at night when mom has to go to the bathroom. That night light illuminates and then, shuts itself off after about 30 seconds or so. Then on the bottom right, we have the tags. The tags are really useful devices. They're about the size of a poker chip, and they do a number of different things. They offer fall detection if you're wearing it as a pendant. You'll see on the left side there we have that on a pendant on the black cord. They also have panic buttons. Each of them in the center, that button is a panic button. And I'll give you a little bit more detail here in a minute on how that works. but they all act as a panic button, which can connect with your care circle, which is your family and friends. And if they're not available or if further help is needed, it directly connects right into emergency services right there in mom's neighborhood so that we can make sure that we send the right emergency services to the home in the quickest amount of time. These are shower proof, they're waterproof, so they can be placed in trouble areas. So let me show you by picture some of the uses and some of the use cases that our clients find useful. So I mentioned they're waterproof. So in the shower, if you put one on the bottom of the door there, or in the bottom somewhere, near a door, if you have a shower curtain, for example, it's a panic button. In case there's a fall or problem in the shower or the bathtub, there's a button within reach and always useful. Addition, as you see, if there's a door, you can put it on the door. The tags, in addition to having a panic button, they measure movement. So when that door moves, we're going to know. And so we know a little bit about when bathing happens if you put one on the door. So next thing you see is a medicine cabinet. Same thing. We put a tag on a medicine cabinet. That way we know when the medicine cabinet opens. Now we can't tell you that mom or dad took their medicine, but we can tell you if that medicine cabinet didn't open when it's supposed to open or around the time, then it's pretty unlikely that mom or dad took the medicine and it might be a good idea to check in. So in the kitchen, you can put those on stoves, you can put them on pantries, you can put them on a refrigerator, as you see there in the picture. Anywhere you want to detect movement. A lot of times we'll put them on the front door so we can tell, when mom or dad are leaving, or the back door, or the garage door. And then on the bottom, the far right, you'll see on the banister. So again, anywhere there's a hazard of falling or a hazard of trip, the bottom of a nightstand, for example. A lot of people fall out of bed when they're trying to get out of bed at night to go to the bathroom. They lose their balance and they fall. That gives a panic button right where they need it. So even if mom or dad doesn't want to wear the lanyard around their neck, then we can put these in troubled areas like the staircase, and we know that there's always a button nearby. We talked about the two-way communication in the bedroom. The last thing I want to mention here, we'll talk about this in a little bit, is vitals tracking. So we have blood pressure cuffs and we have thermometers, touchless thermometers that connect right into the NoMo system. And so those things can be measured and understood as well. So one of the most important questions that people ask us often is, so how does my family, what do they see? What do they know? So here's just a picture of what the app looks like. And on that home screen, which says, "How's Ruth?" there's going to be a summary of the day, right? So it's going to talk about all the things that you find important. And all of this is customizable to whatever they want. But for example, it'll answer questions like, did mom get up at night? Did she get out of bed at a normal time? Is she taking her medicine? All these sorts of things that home screen is going to answer. And you can just kind of scroll down with your thumb and you can see all those important metrics and all those things that you might want to track. Now, when we say who's going to see this screen, that's important. That's what we refer to as the care circle. The reason we refer to it as the care circle is that oftentimes people don't identify themselves as caregivers, right? When you're helping mom or dad, you're just being a good child. And so what we found is that most people don't identify themselves as caregivers. We call them the care circle. And mom or dad can invite whomever they want into that care circle. It's all within their control. They can decide to add their children, their family, their friends, neighbors, professional caregivers, whoever they want to have access to this information. They can do that. And of course, they can change that whenever they want. And again, the care circle is able to see all the different pieces of information, that are being gathered throughout the day. And one of the other really important things about the app is that you're able to set notifications that you find important. And you can set those notifications based on any of the parameters that you like. So for example, in the example I gave earlier about dad waking up at 10 a.m. and going to the bathroom and having coffee. What a lot of our clients set is a notification if that morning routine is off. So if that morning routine changes, they want to be notified. They don't necessarily want to be notified that dad wakes up at 10:05 and goes to the bathroom and has his coffee. But if it's 11 o'clock and dad hasn't gotten out of bed, most of our clients want to know and they want that notification. Same thing you do with our medical devices, the blood pressure cuff or the thermometer. You could set parameters for blood pressure. So if it's too low or it's too high, you can be notified. Or if mom forgets to take it for a period of days, you can be notified. All of these things are totally customizable. And so what happens with a notification or in the event of an emergency? We have three different ways that we can reach out to the care circle. Again, all of this is customizable according to each person's desire. It can be done by a phone call. It can be done by SMS text message, and it can be done by a push notification on your phone. And so what happens when someone pushes that panic button, when dad needs help and pushes that panic button on one of the tags? A couple things happen. First, simultaneously, we reach out immediately to all of the care circles. So if there's 5 people, in that care circle, or there's 1 person in that care circle, NoMo is going to automatically reach out in whatever way you've elected, phone, text, or push, or by the way, 2 or all 3. It's totally up to you. And you're going to get a call or a text from our automated system that says, hey, a panic's button been pushed. Would you like to be connected to the hub? If you say yes, we're going to live connect right into that hub. You can speak into your phone and you can just say, hey, mom, is everything okay? I saw a panic button was pushed. And mom could say, oh, yep, sorry, darling, I just pushed it by accident. No problem. Everything's good. Then you can immediately disengage from that call and you can sort of turn that notification off. Alternatively, if mom says, oh my gosh, honey, no, I've fallen. I need some help. Can you send some help? Then you can immediately push a button right in the app, and that will connect the conversation with our emergency call center, which is a 24/7 call center that has the ability to dispatch, whatever EMS is necessary right to the home. Now, what happens if you or none of the other people in the care circle answer that call, which happens? Then it gets automatically escalated right to that 911 call center. And so a live person will connect into the hub and do the same thing I just explained that you might do. They will check and see if dad's okay. And if they need to send any sort of services, they will do so. If there's ever any problems, mom can also push the button on the hub as well. That also takes her right to the services. And I do want to spend just one more minute talking about the vitals because this is really an interesting function that we allow, right? We allow the ability of blood pressure cuffs and thermometers, and we have other devices coming out next year to be able to track information and put it all in the NoMo app. So in addition to building out those notifications that I mentioned, the other really nice thing is that all of that data is in one place. And so when dad goes to the doctor and the doctor says, hey, how's your blood pressure been? We can open up a screen and all of that data is located right in one place for the doctor to see and review and help out as needed. The other option or the other functionality that we have is similar to Life 360. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this or not, but Life 360 allows, and our app now allows you to track mom or dad as long as they have their cell phone with them. You're able to track where they're going if they go out to the grocery store or if they go out to Walmart or if they go out and run, have brunch, whatever they happen to do. If their phone is with them, then in the NoMo app, you'll be able to see every place they go and how long they stay there. And so it's just a really wonderful way of being able to keep track of mom or dad without having cameras, without spying, and doing so in a really private and secure manner. So NoMo is one of those tools that we think, given your professions and your devotion to your clients, is something that might be a real natural thing for you guys to be able to bring into your clients. And look, we think that you're a trusted resource for these clients. You're in their home and you're talking to them about a lot of these situations, and you're helping them solve, some pretty complex and scary scenarios as they deal with choosing, what kind of coverage and all of those decisions. And especially as some of these carriers are now cutting out of their benefits packages, PERS devices, and other similar benefits, we think that NoMo is just a real great opportunity, especially right now in this environment, to be able to offer to your clients. we'll get to in just a minute here. I'm going to pass it off to Macy. She's going to tell you a little bit more about sort of the selling of NoMo, and we're going to talk about the economic model and sort of all the other things that NoMo can help. But given your relationship with your clients, we really think this is a great opportunity to just give them a little bit more help and a little bit more resource in an area that is really kind of challenging and frankly one that we're all going to go through as long as we get old enough. So Macy, maybe I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, David. I'd just like to highlight kind of the target audiences. Just a thought-provoking slide for you guys. Obviously, you're working with your clients. You'll have some on the younger end, like just receiving benefits for the first year. The messaging there obviously would be more of a proactive approach. Maybe the blood pressure monitoring would be helpful. Maybe two-way communication sometimes with their families because everyone tends to leave their phone in the other room charging. And so it's a nice tool. The other aspect is that these people have neighbors who maybe need it. They maybe still have parents that it might be a good tool for them supporting their parents. So it does apply to a vast majority of your clients, whether they are joining for the first year or this is their 30th year speaking with you. There's other aspects, physical limitations. There's people who have had, total hip surgeries and maybe need NoMo for support so that they can be released from the hospital sooner and they have those caregivers checking in on them remotely. Everybody would like to heal at home in some capacity. So other aspect is neurodivergence. There's a lot of adults with autism that want to be independent and their caregivers and families want them to stay safe. And this is a good bridge for that. Clearly, we have community partners. We're doing a lot with in-home health. Adult day is a great option. If they can't be safe at home with their caregivers at night, they can't return to adult day. So certainly reach out to those groups. They're looking for solutions. There's just not many out there. So I think they'd be more than willing to speak with you. Obviously, senior and independent living facilities is a key target. I would definitely work on an empowerment message there saying, you get to choose what device, you get to choose who's on your care circle. They're a lot more receptive if it's their choice. And then obviously the givens, the OT, PT, doctors, social workers, all of the professional health caregivers. All right. So just I think first with selling NoMo, I think what's most important is here, you have to have Wi-Fi. So definitely start with the internet connection because NoMo does require that to work appropriately. And then obviously the next piece is privacy. We are all about privacy first. There is no cameras, and that's huge because that's part of why the benefits are being removed on the current PERS devices is because of the cameras and the active listening. We do not have that. David mentioned, Alexa previously. We do not have those capabilities. So people feel a lot more secure in trying NoMo because there is no active listening and no cameras. Install is really quite easy, you guys, and you'll see through the resources we provide and the videos we provide, but it's not required. If you aren't comfortable offering installation to your customers, you do not have to do that. But certainly if you'd like to offer it, there's opportunity for healthy compensation on the commissions. NoMo is great as far as pricing. It's very affordable for people. That was one of our big initiatives when we created NoMo. And so it's $199.99 for the hardware and then just $19.99 a month, which is really reasonable relative to those that are using others' PERS devices. The other nice piece about NoMo is there's no contracts, no hidden fees, no setup fees. A lot of the competing products or somewhat competing products, there's like a 3-year contract and it's a much higher monthly, some $50, $60 a month. So these are FSA, HSA eligible. The other aspect of this is it's a really nice option. If your clients use a PERS device today and it's going away from their plan, this is a nice solution for you to offer them without a huge initial investment and additional cost. So, and then this is a good solution if they are maybe getting to the point where they've maybe had a fall, they're starting to trip on some things, they've had some health issues, and they won't wear a wearable because they think they're too young. It's good to give them the option to like, hey, I know you're way too young for, a wearable, but maybe it would be a good idea to put some panic buttons in areas of concern, like the shower, like the bottom of the stairs, like the door going out to the garage, just so that you have the option to get some help if you need. Um, but also, when talking to your customers, ask them questions, right? What is your biggest concern? What are you worried about? A lot of them will be very forthcoming, believe me. They will say, I am not wearing a wearable. And so at least you know where you're at, where they're at, and you can help them navigate. But what I have found in my, 2 years of sharing NoMo with my community is they need the examples. So please give them the applications. David listed lots of them. There's tons in the material. There's lots of videos. If you need help, please reach out. But the applications are really important because that helps connect the dots for people. Like, oh, that makes sense. I don't want to wear a wearable. I have tripped a couple times. I've missed a few stairs. It might not be a terrible idea for me to put in a couple panic buttons just in case. Um, the the catchphrase I use with a lot of our customers is it's like car insurance. You don't want to buy car insurance. You don't anticipate having an accident. But when you do have an accident or you do have a fall, you're really glad you have it. So those panic buttons are a good insurance policy just in case. All right, and here's a testimonial from one of our current customers about her use with Nomo and her mom.
Hi, my name is Megan. I am currently the primary caregiver for my mom. She currently has cancer. And because of the NOMO, we were able to determine when she did have a relapse in her cancer. Because of the cognitive changes, I could see there was a difference in her schedule, difference in her routine when she was getting out of bed, when she wasn't, when she was staying in a room too long. The doctors really initially couldn't tell us that there was anything going on. They thought maybe she had an infection that they couldn't determine. Not until we got the MRI did we find out that her cancer did come back, and it was in her brain. They found in the MRI that she did have CNS lymphoma in her brain, and that's what was causing the cognitive changes. For anybody that doesn't think that they need the NoMo system in their home, I'd really like them to reconsider. I can definitely see a use for this, especially in aging parents.
Perfect. Well, you heard Megan say it brings peace of mind. So the other piece that I think has been helpful, especially in the last couple of weeks, is we're broaching the holidays. So as you are speaking with your clients, I would encourage you to use the gift of peace of mind for the holidays. It's gift giving season. There's lots of, adult kids that are like, what do I get my parents? Also, again, it's an empowerment statement for these aging adults. Empower them to make the choice of what device they put in their home to assist them as they age gracefully at home, like they would like to do. They choose who is a part of their care circle. They choose who's contacted if there is the unfortunate event of emergency. But make it an empowerment statement. No child wants to have this conversation with their parent. They don't want to acknowledge their aging. So it's a great gift to empower our aging community to give their kids for the holidays. So why you should offer NoMo? I think there's a huge value in NoMo for your clients. Obviously, David and Amanda both mentioned the changes that you guys are probably painfully aware of daily. So this is a great solution for your clients to maintain their safety and independence, and you're bringing it to them. So there's a huge differentiation. I can assure you there's not any other Medicare groups doing this other than you guys. They're not offering cutting edge technology to keep them safe and independent and in their homes, which is where everybody wants to age in place. So, and obviously there's an opportunity for reoccurring revenue as well. So this is our lineup. David kind of took you through it. I did want to just note the earning potential that you guys have per device. And I think the highlight here obviously is installation. If you'd like to do it, it is very, very easy. And there's, an $80 value there in commission, $79. If you're interested in doing the installation, if you're doing home visits and having meetings at their home, it's a really nice opportunity to do that. Or the other big pick me up is that you guys get annual renewal on the subscription. So that's a nice perk. So you can continue to benefit from your interaction with your customer. Okay, so we want to go through kind of the convenience of ordering and how you can choose to order your way, or how your clients are interacting with you,
I'm
as well as
actually
kind of,
going to stop real quick before we get into this. We've
sure.
got a couple of questions and I want to answer
Oh,
those.
sure. Oh,
Sure.
sure.
Monitoring. If they leave the house, do they take a button with them to be monitored, or is it just tracking done through their phone? Do they have to activate the app for it to be functioning?
So I can answer that. So for monitoring outside of the home, at the moment, the only way to monitor outside the home is if they have their phone with them. So the tags, which are the little poker chip sized devices, they don't have range beyond the home. And so as long as at least for now, we are coming out next year with a different type of wearable. But for right now, the phone would have to be with them in order for them to be tracked outside the home. And as long as the app is set up properly, it doesn't necessarily have to be open on their phone for that tracking to happen. So when you set up, just like you set up any app, it'll ask for permissions to use location, et cetera, et cetera. And so as long as that's set up the right way, then no, the app does not have to be open on mom or dad's phone to be working.
Okay. Any other questions that we have before I move? Okay. Okay. Go ahead, Mason.
Perfect. Okay, so we just want to talk about the four different convenient methods of ordering, relative to like if you're at their home or if you are on a Zoom call with them, if they're in your office, however the case may be. If you choose to sign up to offer NoMo to your clients, you will get a welcome email. And in that email, you'll get a discount code. And I will show you all of this in future slides. But there's a discount code. It'll be, TLC 123. You can use that in the purchase of NoMo, and we'll show you how to do that. There's also a referral link that you will get, which is kind of nice because, as Amanda alluded to, these will be kind of a follow-up connection with your clients. So you could use this in an email saying, hey, we'd love to schedule time. We'd love to chat with you about this. And you can provide the link. Now that will have your specific code on it. If they click on that, it will take them to a cart. It will be associated to your referral code. So you will get credit for that sale. The other option is a QR code, which anybody can scan with their phone. They just open up the camera and scan the little square, which will show you. But that'll go right to your page to purchase as well. And then through the agent portal is the last piece. But just to reiterate, on all four methods, you have to use one of them. You can't not remember to put in a code or use the QR code or use the link, or you won't get credit. So apologies, David, for the the delay there. So this is placing an order on NoMo SmartCare. So this is just literally www.nomosmartcare.com. Now you can choose to purchase through two options: the buy now, that you can see the first red arrow on the right, or the shop. Either one will get you there. And then all you have to do is select the items that you'd like to purchase. Remember to make sure to select your subscription. You can do monthly or you can do annual. If you do annual, you do get 2 free months. Okay. Okay. And then this is what I was referencing before. So when you go to the checkout, you'll see there's a discount code. and see that example of that TLC 227. That's literally like what you would get in your email when you register to provide NoMo. Just make sure you enter that code into the discount code. And then you'll see the order discount of $10. So all of your customers will get a $10 discount purchasing NoMo through you. All right, so the agent portal. This is a portal that was built specifically for you guys to ensure success, give you lots of resources.
We just
And
lost it off of
Yep.
the screen, and I need to throw it in the chat also.
Bear with me. Bear with me. I'm
Uh-oh.
just switching to a different screen to show you guys
There
this.
we go.
There we go.
Awesome. Okay, so if you click on that link, and obviously we'll provide the link, but this is where you can either sign up to be a distributor of and be able to provide NoMo to your clients. You can see it's very easy. It's just asking a handful of questions, and you can create an agent account. Or we will log in because we have an account created already. But it's very easy to do. And then this is what will come up. Okay. So you can see when you register, you will be provided this information and a login to this portal. There'll be a URL specifically designed for you that David is highlighting. This is what I'm saying you should probably copy and put in your follow-up emails if you want to refer to NoMo. There's also the code, the coupon code that you're assigned, the TLC 322 in this case. There's a nice little easy copy button right there. We tried to make it very easy for you guys. This is where you can track your referrals, your orders, your conversions. You should see all of that information in here. It's kind of your home page, your home base. And then if we move on to the next tab, it's marketing tools. We know that marketing is the key to success for you guys. So we tried to put a robust selection together for you in a really convenient location with all of the assets. So there's lots of tools in here, images, selling tools, branding, videos, all the things. But I do want to just highlight in the selling tools, the brochures, and specifically on the right, there's an objection guide. So if you are getting, like pushback on some things, it's good to read through that and just see kind of the responses that you can have. So you have them in the back of your pocket. But there's lots of brochures and please utilize them. They're a great tool. It's a great lead behind. If you guys need more, let us know. You can reach out to us at the TLC at nomosmartcare.com. We're happy to help you. There is an option for custom brochures. Some have already participated in this. If you don't see your name on here, if you see your name on here, you can click on it and it will provide the assets. If you don't, certainly just reach out to us and we can provide custom brochures. Social, we know this group is all about social. So please utilize these assets. Let us know if we can support you with more. I know Amanda will continue to provide feedback and requests. We will continue to support her and we will post everything up here so that you guys have access to it. Videos, there's tons of videos. Please feel free to use them as a resource. Educate yourself. There's lots of tools in there. FAQs, same thing. If you have questions, it should be in here. If not, let us know and we're happy to answer those questions. We did set up an exclusive group just specifically for you guys. So when you call that, it's only this organization calling. Same thing with the email. So it is really intended to make sure that you guys get the help as quickly as possible because we understand that you're potentially with a client and need help like immediately. So please know we're here at your disposal and we have a great sense of urgency with this specific help group.
So we have a few questions. The first one
Okay.
is does it cost anything to sell to sign up or to sign up to sell?
No.
Okay. So then the next one, how long does the cookie last for the referral link? Probably till you clear it
Yeah,
out,
I guess.
Sarah, so you're good.
Yeah.
I guess it all depends on the user settings, but like this link here also can be shared to social as well, right? Or you can use this link anywhere you want.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
if they fall, are the satellites able to pick up on that?
So the way that the satellites will not actually detect a fall. The only device that detects a fall is our pendant. But for families that are just really resistant to wearing a wearable or people that are wearing wearable, a lot of times what we'll tell people to do is set a notification in your app that if there's no movement within the home, call it for 2 hours, during a certain period of time that dad's going to be home. We'll have you set that notification because at least then it'll give you a notice and at least it allows you to check in. But right now there's no solution technologically that will detect a fall without a wearable.
Okay. Awesome. Other questions that you guys have? I think it's a cool system. I do like a lot of, we've spent some time going and working on the different brochures and things so that way you guys have them for when you are out in your communities. You can print them out and, put them in a holder so that way you have them at your various events and things. Laura wants to know, do you have a guide to help us determine how many and what kind of devices to suggest for purchase?
We do. Sorry, I just switched off to the different screen, but yes, in the Macy, why don't you this probably makes
Whoop,
sense to
whoop.
talk right about this and the yeah.
Um, so to answer your question, it's actually part of the app setup process. When they do set up, it will ask you like what things you're interested in capturing and how many devices and what devices they recommend you including in the home when you do set up. So I hope that answers her question. As far as like recommendation, it will go through that during the app setup.
Cool.
Okay. David, I'm so sorry to do this to you, but can you go back to the portal? Because I just want to run through an order in the portal and talk
I'm
through
sorry. Yeah,
the
of course.
installation piece. Oh, that's okay. Was my bad. We got distracted, I think. So can you go back to the home page? Okay, so if you click on that URL, so this will take you right to our site and see how you guys at the top, if you scroll all the way up. Oh, it's thinking a minute. Hang on.
But if you go by.
There you go. So if you go to purchase a NoMo from your URL link, see at the top it will say you're shopping with David Bear and it will reiterate your TLC code. Okay. So just that confirms like you're getting credit for this. It's acknowledging that you are the agent that is doing this sale. And then obviously you just select your items, your subscription, you add to cart, and then you'll see TLC 323, the discount and the TLC agent code. So you are getting credit for that. So it's just super easy. Apologies. Now, if you can back out, we can go to the shop one and then we can show the same thing through there. There you go. Shop. You hit the shop button. Now, this is nice. There's all of the different options that you can select. The one thing I will say is there is installation in the portal under shop. You can add installation. We do give you the latitude if you would like to adjust kind of the installation cost. You have the ability, like let's say, you're working with a longtime client and they do need some help with installation and you feel comfortable doing it. Certainly, you can say, I will do this for you for $69, not the 99. So that is your choice. You have that latitude to adjust that for your loyal clients. You select the items that you would like included in that. David, if you want to add a essential care kit. And then see David's codes right there. He can check out. Really nice and easy. It's intended to be really nice and easy for you guys. Okay, David, I'm sorry. You can go back out now. I think we've covered at least the two options in here. Um, and shop we already did, so we're good. We can move on to the next slide.
Bear with me 1 second.
No worries. Awesome. So when you guys, or if you have signed up or when you do decide to sign up, we will send you a welcome kit and at no cost, to reiterate. It will include an essential care kit you'll see in the upper left-hand corner. Some have asked, well, do I use this? Do I put it in my house? Here's the thing. I would suggest being familiar with it. If you choose to set up in your home to have some good use cases to be able to talk with your clients about, that is absolutely fine. And if you want to keep it in your office so that it's a display, people can engage, ask about it, put it with your brochures. You can bring it in to other people's homes, show them so they can look, touch, feel. Whatever is easiest for you, whatever you're most comfortable with. But the intention is we want to give you the resources to be able to sell, and it's nice to have a unit to be able to show people. You'll get a blood pressure monitor. You will get a thermometer. These are Bluetooth. They pair, as David had mentioned before. You'll get 25 brochures. You'll also get a free subscription for 6 months. And that subscription will come through the hello@NoMo SmartCare email. And then there's a QR code if you'd like to sign up to distribute today. And then we'll just continue plugging through a couple more slides. But we will, any orders that are received, we generally ship them within the day that were received or the following day. So you'll get your welcome kit pretty quickly. As I'd mentioned before, we do have a VIP helpline specifically for you guys. We understand the sense of urgency that you guys need in getting a response if you have questions. So please feel free to reach out to us via phone or email. Socials, I would recommend looking at our socials. There's actually quite a bit of educational information out there, and it's a good tool and resource. So check that out, our website. We've got all the FAQs and things on that as well. But generally speaking, your guys' portal is really robust. So I would utilize that if you have questions or are wondering if there's a resource or an asset out there. But feel free to reach out to us otherwise. And then last is the same QR code to sign up here. I just made it a little bit larger so it was easy for you guys to scan while you're sitting here. But I would encourage you to sign up to support your clients, differentiate yourself in your community of those providing the same service you are. It's an awesome opportunity to help people because this is a great tool for people's toolbox. And, nobody wants to acknowledge their aging and nobody wants to acknowledge their parents are declining. So give this gift to your clients. It's an incredible tool.
Does the client use the app to determine needed devices or quantity, or do we do that for them?
So what I would say to that is the essential care kit is like the basic package that is probably sufficient for most kind of one-bedroom homes. And so that has the hub, 2 satellites, and 4 tags. And so, again, depending on the home and the size and what you're measuring, that's a pretty good base package. And then from there, as maybe you saw in a couple of the ordering screens, you can add additional tags or additional satellites, and those can be added, at any point in time. So what most people will do is they'll get the essential care kit, they'll get that installed, and they'll sort of live with that and see, hey, is this enough to measure what I want to measure? Or, I want a few other things that I'm really interested in measuring, and then you go ahead and add those. And to add them, they're very, very simple. It takes, minutes to add a tag or a satellite.
Okay. Any other questions? The other thing that we've got is I'm so excited about this. Gives me an incredible in to get into places that might not be as receptive to just offering Medicare insurance. Correct. So one of the things when you look from a sales perspective, guys, one of the biggest places to go after is to have a discussion with caregivers because no one wants to go ahead and give up their independence. So to be able to go ahead and say, here's another way, here's a way that you can stay safe in your home, um, and to have a discussion about that, and to be able to, we can look at building out presentations and outreach that you can do in your communities to have that discussion. When you're doing social media, you want to go ahead and market that to anywhere from the ages of 40 up, and say, do you or a loved one, are you in this situation and looking for solutions? More and more, they don't know where to turn. So to have you have to start that dialogue, and especially with the caregiver, then allows you the option to explore other possible avenues down the line. Um, so I am recording this. It will be out on YouTube. David, Macy, I appreciate the time and super informative. We will definitely go ahead and offer another round of this webinar so that way those that weren't able to join can join in and ask their questions again. But we appreciate it. And everybody that came on, I know how crazy busy all of you are. So thank you for joining, and the sign up links are in the chat. I will also go ahead and send out a follow-up email so that way you guys have that probably later on today or first thing tomorrow morning. But have a great rest of your afternoon, everybody, and I will talk with you all soon. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.